You're going to face a lot, young man. More than you expect. More than you think is fair. And it's not going to wait until you're ready. Life won't knock on your door and ask politely before it barges in. It will hit you without warning. And it won't care about your feelings, your background, or your good intentions. You'll be tested on every front. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. There's a long road ahead. And even though your father helped shape your foundation, the rest is on you. He can't carry you through the storms. He can't build your discipline for you. He might have taught you how to walk, but now you've got to run, fall, get up, and keep going. Again and again. This isn't about blaming life for being hard. It's about accepting the challenge and facing it with courage. Every hardship is a stepping stone toward becoming the man you're meant to be. But no one else can walk that road for you. The work must be yours. The grit must be yours. The fire, the hunger, the discipline, that's all on you. This world is harsh. It will break you if you're not prepared. It's not just about survival. It's about growth in the midst of adversity. Life is the ultimate opponent. It's not just some motivational phrase. It's the truth. Life is undefeated. It doesn't lose, and it doesn't care how much you're struggling. It hunts for your weakness, for the cracks in your armor, and it strikes when your guard is down. It forces you to confront yourself every day, and that's where transformation happens. In the friction, the pressure, the fire. If you want to become the version of yourself you admire, it starts with silence. Not the kind that isolates you, but the kind that focuses you. Get off social media. Turn off the noise. Stop looking for validation. Stop explaining yourself. Stop seeking applause. The world doesn't owe you understanding. The grind doesn't need an audience. It needs consistency. Dedicate yourself to the mental lab, the inner sanctum where warriors are forged. You've got to reach a point where nothing outside of you can hurt you, not because you're numb or emotionless, but because you've taken the time to understand exactly who you are. You've had the hard conversations with yourself. You've confronted the trauma, the memories, the pain that most people run from. You've learned how to hold space for the kid inside you who was hurt, abandoned, overlooked, or underestimated. You've done the healing work, the ugly, brutal, honest work. That's where strength begins. It doesn't come from pretending to be invincible. It comes from being vulnerable enough to dig deep and brave enough to rebuild. You've learned to speak your truth, not someone else's version of it. You've claimed your narrative. You've stopped editing yourself for other people's comfort. Most people don't grow because they're stuck in shame. Shame is a trap. It lies. It whispers that you're not good enough, that your past defines you, that your scars are proof of weakness. But the truth, your scars are proof that you survived. Everything you need is inside your mental lab. Your pain, your confusion, your dreams, your resilience. It's all there, waiting to be refined. That lab is your sanctuary, your battleground, your forge. You don't need someone to save you. You need to study yourself. Every single discomfort you feel is a signal. Every excuse is data. Every failure is a lesson. You have to dissect yourself with curiosity and compassion. Nobody else can do that for you. People can guide you, inspire you, maybe even walk beside you for a while. But the deep work, the real transformation, that's yours alone. And here's the deal, pain is inevitable. Unchosen suffering will come. Accidents, betrayals, loss. Life throws those at everyone. But you can choose your suffering now, every day, so you're ready for the kind that's outside your control. Choose the hard path. Choose the challenge. Do something difficult every single day. Not because it makes you special, but because it builds something inside you that no one can take away. This isn't about ego. It's not about flexing for the world. It's about crafting a skill set, a mindset that allows you to remain calm and clear under fire. When the pressure's on, when everyone's watching or no one's watching, you need to know that you've got your own back. That's what toughness really is. It's not about how loud you are or how many reps you can do. It's about who you are when the game is on the line and everything feels like it's falling apart. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people who can stay composed in chaos. That's what I train for. That's what you need to train for. Because trauma is coming. Pain is coming. It's inevitable. But it doesn't have to stop you. Don't let the darkness freeze you. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. Most people never perform a live autopsy. They don't pause in the middle of their suffering to ask, why am I like this? Where did this pain come from? How did I get here? They stay on autopilot. I didn't. I cracked myself open. I took the scalpel to my own soul. I was broken too. I was full of fear, shame, anger, but I didn't want to stay there. I had to figure it out, and when I did, I realized I could rebuild myself piece by piece. I could take all that pain and turn it into fuel. I didn't find strength by avoiding the fire. I found it by walking through it. Purpose isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Everyone talks about needing a purpose, but the truth is, real purpose isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it's thankless. Sometimes it's just showing up when there's no finish line in sight. No medals, no applause. Can you keep going when the reason isn't obvious? Can you stay disciplined when there's no race, no championship, no recognition? That's what separates the real from the fake. You need to be driven by something internal, something unshakable. When there's nothing external pushing you, your respect for yourself has to be enough. That's my fuel. Self-respect. I get up at 4 a.m., not because I want a pat on the back, but because I know the man I want to be, and I refuse to let him down. That's the question you have to ask yourself. Why don't I care enough about myself? Why do I treat myself like I'm not worth the effort? That's not a surface-level question. That's the root. If you don't respect yourself, you'll sabotage everything. You'll chase validation instead of purpose. You'll fold under pressure. You'll hide from your own greatness. I used to be like that. I was born scared, weak, traumatized. I quit everything. I ran from pain. And that version of me, he wouldn't have survived. So I created a new version. I gave birth to Goggins, someone who didn't back down, someone who didn't fold. I built him from scratch, brick by brick. The transformation didn't happen overnight. It happened in the grind, in the cold mornings, in the silence, in the sweat and tears. I became that man because I refused to be the victim any longer. Every day, I chose the hard path. I kept showing up, even when my body said stop, even when my mind screamed quit. And that consistency, That's what made me dangerous, not to others, but to my own excuses. Every day you delay, every time you look away from the work, you're strengthening the version of you that wants to stay small. So don't just be hungry, be humble. Hungry gets you in the room. Humility keeps you learning once you're there. I think about William Crawford often, a janitor at the Air Force Academy, quiet, unnoticed. People walked past him for years, never knowing he'd earned the Medal of Honor, the highest military distinction, and he never said a word. That man swept floors with honor. That's true greatness. That's the kind of humility I respect. He didn't need a stage to validate his worth. He lived it. He embodied it. That's the level I aim for. I've never felt above anyone. I've often been below. But that's where the wisdom lives. In the dungeon, in the pain, in the climb. You need to be at your best when life is at its worst. That's not a cliche. That's a requirement. Motivation, it fades. It's a spark, not a fire. Discipline is what carries you through the storm. But even discipline fails if your mind is cluttered. Think of your brain like a fuse box. If it's overloaded, it'll short circuit under pressure. You have to declutter. That's why I meditate for 2 hours every night. I review the day. I clean the garage. I organize my thoughts. So when the sun rises, I'm ready for war. Every day is battle prep, not against the world, but against the weaker version of me. Everyone wants to be mentally tough, but they don't want to go where toughness is made. It's not found in comfort. It's found in chaos. You have to drown a little. You have to feel like you can't breathe. And push anyway. That's where your real self lies. When you break through the illusion of limitation and tap into the final 20%, the part most people never reach, you find something priceless. You find light in the darkness. You realize pain is the price of power. Set impossible goals, not because you want to impress others, but because you want to discover your edges. Wake up early. Do the hard things. Every single day, let your actions echo one truth. This is who I am now. The pain it takes to become that person is real. It hurts. It breaks you down. But if you're willing to face it, you'll come out different, stronger, clearer, wiser. At the end of every day, ask yourself, did I do enough? That question will keep you honest. It will keep you sharp. I didn't have a plan B. I failed tests again and again. So I studied more. I forced my brain to adapt. I trained it to stop resisting and start executing. I watched a documentary on Navy SEALs while terrified of water. But I made a decision. If I become one of them, I'll change my life. I wasn't trying to win. I just didn't want to quit anymore. That became my edge. I created a new standard for myself. And you can too. But it starts now, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient.